for 10:30 no later than drop them drawers. I know what you want. I ask myself, is this?
Today I'm going to be cooking Jamaica's national dish, which is Ackee Saltfish, but with a twist to make it vegan or plant-based by substituting a few of the ingredients. Usually this dish is usually cooked with rice and peas, yam, dumpling, bananas, and other ground provision or whatever you choose. Some people likes it with bread, but today I'm going to be using breadfruit, which is my favorite way of eating it. This is not how the breadfruit looks originally. I will try to insert a clip up there to show you how it looked, but it was roasted and peeled and brought from the islands to the US by my sister. Right here we have the ackee, and it has been picked and cleaned and oiled and packaged and brought here frozen. But it's usually grown on a tree. It's a fruit, but here you can buy the ackee at any Caribbean stores, and usually comes in the can if you so wish. But I had bought this prior to my sister bringing those, so I will not be using the canned ackee right now. I'll be using the fresh ackee to make the meal. Now, instead of the saltfish, I'll be using the Sweet Earth benevolent bacon. I really like this. I tried it a couple of times and it really goes well with the ackee. It's a great substitute. I've also tried other things such as vegan sausage, but this is my #1 choice, so that's what I'm going to be using right now. Apart from that, everything remains the same. We're going to be using onions, and I want to use the red onion and the white onion just for variety. I'm going to be using jalapeno, which is not common. It's normally Scotch bonnet pepper, but you know, I don't have fresh ones at the time. I have a couple frozen ones in the freezer that I will use in the video to make this meal. And then we have bell peppers, pimentos. Where's the garlic? I forgot the garlic. So now we're gonna add some garlic also. The more seasoning you use, fresh seasoning that is, the more flavorful your meal will be. Of course, I'll be adding pimento, and I guess on the side I'll be cooking some collard green and spinach to go along with it. And as I said, most people enjoy ackee with bread, so usually they use white dough bread in my country, but I'm using a healthier option, which is multi-grain bread. So I placed the water on the fire for it to boil, because I have to boil the ackee because it was not done before it was brought to me. Usually you'll add saltfish to the water, but because the bacon, I'm using the substitute bacon, I will be adding salt to the water, enough salt so that the ackee will acquire that slight salty taste, not too salty, that the saltfish would have given to it. Another point to note, when you're preparing your ackee, ensure that the water is boiling before you put the ackee in, or else you'll get a result where the ackee will be hard in some part and soft in some part. We do not want that. We need a smooth consistency, so don't junk the ackee. Now that the water is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and add the ackee to the pot. And in our culture, we would normally add a little Scotch bonnet pepper to it, or a whole Scotch bonnet pepper to it. I do not have fresh one. As I said, I got some from a friend of mine, so I'll be adding that into it along with some pimentos. Here's my Scotch bonnet pepper that I have that my friend Roxy Poxy gave me for about 3 years now. I've been skintering this, so I'm gonna put maybe a whole one. I'm gonna put the small whole one in it. Hopefully it's not too hot. Put that in, and I'm gonna put some allspice, and I'm gonna cover it and allow this ackee to cook. Next, it's on to preparing the breadfruit. So as I said before, it has been roasted and peeled and packaged and brought to me. The hard part is done. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna be frying a portion of the breadfruit while I'll be leaving another portion as is. And with breadfruit, you can do so many things with it, but in this case, you can either fry it or you could just roast it and have it like that. My family prefers the fried option, so I'm gonna do a bit of both. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna cut the breadfruit open and I'm gonna cut it into slices. So now that I have done that, I am going to fill a bowl with water, add salt to it, and I like to use pink salt. And once I add the salt to the water, just not make sure that it's not too salty. Just want that the breadfruit to absorb a little of the saltness. I think it gives it a little more flavor. Well, that's how I see my dad do it, so I like it. It works, and so I continue to do it even today. So I'm gonna let the breadfruit sit in the water and just soak up the salt, and the remainder of the breadfruit, which because I had extra, I'm gonna be placing in the freezer. And next it's on to cutting up the seasoning, and I use a variety of colors because I like to see the color. It just makes the meal more attractive, and the flavor when combined is just out of this world. Next, I will be cutting up the bacon, quote unquote bacon. It's vegan, so you know what it is, in small pieces. You have to use like a consistent amount to give you that flavor that you want. Mind you, you could cook your ackee as is, but today we're using this. I really like it, the flavor that this combination gives, as I said before. So I'm testing the ackee to make sure that it's cooked, it's ready, so I'm going to be draining it. Excuse my broken drainer, but I think it has a lot more use in it, so we'll proceed. So now that the ackee has drained, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cook it up, which is the final step. So all the fresh seasoning that I had cut up previously, I'm going to put it on the fire in some oil. I'm going to allow that to marinate. After the flavors have been blended, I'm going to add the bacon. And then last, I'm going to add the ackee and put it on low fire and just allow it to simmer and absorb the different flavors. As you can see, I love the color. It's looking very vibrant, and I'm sure it will taste great. So now I'm going to fry the breadfruit, and I've been soaking them, as I said, in water. Drain the water off.